Hello everyone, this is your instructor in pricing strategy and our topic for today is Introduction, Pricing as an Element of the Marketing Mix. Let's start this topic by this statement. Anytime anything is sold, there must be a price involved. Siyempre, paano mo maibebenta yung product mo kung wala itong price? Paano mo maibebenta yung product mo kung wala kang sinet na price ng iyong product? Wala naman sigurong tao o seller na magbebenta ng product niya na walang presyo. Of course, dapat may presyo para alam ng seller kung may tubo ba siya or wala. Meron ba siyang profit or meron siyang loss. At sa part naman ng buyer, para alam niya kung ano ang babayaran niya. Kapag naset na kasi yung price, yun yung i-charge mo sa buyer mo. At yun yung kanyang babayaran. That is the importance of the price. Ang una nating pag-uusapan dito ay yung term na commercial exchange. Sa word pa lang na exchange, I'm sure na meron na kayong idea dito. Kapag sinabing exchange, di ba may palitan? Kapag sinabing exchange, may palitan. Meron kang ibibigay at meron ka ding matatanggap. That is exchange. There is something given up and there is something received. Commercial exchange is where a seller provides a product to a buyer in return for something in exchange. As you can see, a commercial exchange is a transaction between the seller and the buyer. So, dalawang parties ang involved sa commercial exchange. Una, si seller. At yung pangalawa ay buyer. So, si seller daw, ibibigay niya yung product niya kay buyer. And in return, of course, dahil exchange ito, meron siyang matatanggap at yung matatanggap niya is usually an amount of money or pera. Yan ang tinatawag na commercial exchange. Sa part ni seller, ibibigay niya yung product niya kay buyer at kapalit nun, makakatanggap siya ng bayad o pera. Sa part naman ni buyer, matatanggap niya yung product, yun nga lang, kapalit ng product na natanggap niya, kailangan niyang magbayad. Dito sa commercial exchange, hindi lang si seller ang may obligation. May obligation din si buyer. Ang obligation ni seller is of course, i-deliver niya yung product kay buyer. Ang obligation naman ni buyer ay bayaran niya kung ano man ang binili niya. That is commercial exchange. Ang sabi ko kanina doon sa definition ng commercial exchange, may ibibigay na product si seller kay buyer. Diba? Sabi sa definition ng commercial exchange, the seller provides a product to a buyer. Ang tanong, ano yung product na yon? Yung product na tinutukoy ay pwedeng tangible or pwede rin naman na result of human or mechanical effort. If the product is tangible, ang tawag sa product ay good. If the product is the result of human or mechanical effort, ang tawag sa product ay service. Again, kapag yung product ay tangible, ang tawag sa product ay good. So, paano mo ba malalaman kung yung product ay tangible? Tangible yung product kung nakikita mo o nahahawakan mo. Tangible yung product kung yung product ay nahahawakan mo o nakikita mo. There is a physical substance. For example, cellphone, laptop, noodles, canned goods, etc. Basta nahahawakan mo at nakikita mo. There is a physical substance. Kapag yung product ay result of human or mechanical effort, ang tawag sa product ay service. So, hindi natin ito nakikita o hindi natin ito nahahawakan. That's why service is not tangible or simply intangible. So, in general, ang good at service ay product. Usually kasi, ang pagkakaintindi ng marami kapag sinabing product, yun lang yung may physical substance. So, ang tinutukoy nila ay yung good. Doon sila nagkakamali. Kasi kapag sinabing service, product din yon. So, in general, both good and service are products. Take note na yung buyer dito sa definition ng commercial exchange ay pwedeng consumer or pwedeng business customer. So a buyer is either a consumer or a business customer. Sir, hindi ba pareho yung consumer at business customer? Definitely, hindi sila pareho. Magkaiba ang consumer at business customer. A consumer is an individual who purchases a product for his or her own use. Kung papansinin nyo itong definition ng consumer, ang ibig sabihin lang naman yan ay siya yung end user. Siya yung last na makikinabang at gagamit sa product. For example, bumili ako ng noodles. Yung binili kong noodles, niluto ko, tapos kinain. Since ako yung kumain ng noodles, ako yung last na nakinabang, ako ay tinatawag na consumer. On the other hand, a business customer is an individual or group who purchases the product in order to resell it or for other business purposes. Kung ang consumer, binibili niya yung product para sa sarili niya, itong business customer naman, binibili niya yung product hindi para sa sarili niya, kundi para ibenta niya sa iba or para sa business purposes. For example, si Ana. Si Ana, bumili siya ng tsinelas. Tapos yung binili niyang tsinelas, binenta niya sa kapitbahay niya. Meaning to say, niresell ni Ana yung tsinelas. Niresell ni Ana yung tsinelas para magkaroon siya ng short-term gain. Take note na yung business customer hindi lang nakalimit sa tao o sa grupo ng tao. Yung mga businesses din, gaya ng partnership at corporation, kasama din dito sa business customer as long as hindi sila yung end users. Kasi kapag end users na sila, that means hindi na sila business customer, but rather consumer. Okay, para mas lalo nyong maintindihan kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng commercial exchange, i-illustrate natin. Once alam nyo na itong illustration na to, madali na lang na i-explain ang commercial exchange. So, sa commercial exchange, may dalawang parties na involved. Of course, yung dalawang parties na involved ay yung seller at buyer. They are the parties involved in a commercial exchange. So yung dalawang parties na involved sa commercial exchange ay seller at buyer. Si seller, siya yung magpo-provide ng product kay buyer. Si buyer naman, he or she will provide something in exchange. Always remember na yung product pwedeng good or service yan. Yung buyer naman pwedeng consumer yan or business customer. And of course, that something given by the buyer in exchange is called price. Yung price, tinatawag din yan na consideration. So, ang ibang tawag sa price ay consideration. At this point, since klaro na yung ibig sabihin ng commercial exchange, let us now answer the question, what is a price? We are now able to give a formal definition of price. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, inuna kong diniscuss yung commercial exchange bago itong price kasi mas maganda na alam nyo muna yung commercial exchange kasi related siya sa price. Okay? So, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng price? Ano nga ba ang price? Price is something given in return for a product in a commercial exchange. In other words, ito yung bayad ni buyer kapalit doon sa product na natanggap niya. Ito rin yung matatanggap na amount of money ni seller kapalit doon sa product na binenta niya. If the product in the commercial exchange is a good, then the product's price will most likely be called price. So walang problema kapag ang binili ni buyer ay good. Kasi nga, price lang din ang tawag. However, if the product is a service, then the product's price may well go by one of a variety of other possible names. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Ang ibig sabihin yan, kapag yung product ay service, there are some terms used to mean price. Merong ibang tawag sa price. There are alternative terms used to mean price. Okay, let's provide some terms used to mean price. Para mas maganda, gawa tayo ng dalawang columns. Dito yung alternative terms at dito yung what is purchased. First, kung ang binili ay college course or sabihin nating education. What is purchased here is college course or education. Kung nag-enroll ka sa college, ano yung babayaran mo? Of course, ang babayaran mo ay yung tinatawag na tuition. You know what? Sobrang swerte ng students ngayon kasi di ba free tuition na. Once na nag-enroll ka sa isang university gaya sa University of Eastern Pangasinan or UEP, automatic na free ang tuition. Walang babayaran na tuition ang students. Kaya sobrang swerte ng students ngayon. Kasi di ba noon, ang nabibigyan lang ng free tuition ay usually yung valedictorians, salutatorians, SA. Sila lang yung nagbibigyan dati ng free tuition. Pero ngayon, halos lahat ng students wala nang binabayaran na tuition. Mag-e-enroll lang sila sa kolehiyo or sa isang university at automatic na wala na silang babayaran na tuition. Actually, yung free tuition, malaking tulong yan both sa students at sa mga parents. Hindi lahat nabibigyan ng pagkakataon na mag-aral sa kolehiyo. Of course, kahit gustuhin man ng iba, wala silang kakayahan para mag-aral sa kolehiyo. So, if your tuition is free, do not lose that opportunity. Mag-aral kayo na mabuti. At of course, huwag niyong sayangin yung opportunity na yan na makapag-aral. Because at the end of the day, magiging worth it lahat ng paghihirap nyo, lalo na kapag natanggap nyo na yung OTR nyo at yung diploma ninyo. Next, use of a place to live or use of equipment for a period of time. In other words, this is the use of the resources of other people or other entities. So, gagamitin mo yung pagmamay-ari ng ibang tao or ibang entities. So, kung gusto mong mag-apartment, of course, para magamit mo yung apartment, ano yung babayaran mo? Ang babayaran mo ay yung tinatawag na rent. Kung gusto mong gamitin yung farming equipment ng ibang tao para sa farm mo, of course, kailangan mong magbayad ng renta. This is the use of the resources of other people or other entities. Ang bayad doon ay tinatawag na rent. Next, use of money. Ang ibig sabihin nito ay borrowing of money. So, hihiram ka ng pera ng ibang tao or ibang entity. Of course, sa paggamit mo ng pera ng iba, natural, may babayaran ka na interest. Ang tawag doon ay interest. Sa ibang bansa, of course, ang tawag nila dito, ang pinag-pronounce nila dito ay interest. Pero sa Pilipinas, kapag sinabi mong interest, tatawanan ka. Kasi nga, dito sa Pilipinas, ang gusto nila ay interest. Yun yung nakagawian dito sa Pilipinas. But the proper pronunciation for this should be interest. Next, professional service. For example, professional service ng lawyers, professional service ng doctors, professional service ng consultants, professional service ng accountants. Since these people are rendering their services, kailangan nilang mabayaran. At yung tawag sa bayad nila ay professional fee. Okay? In general, fee. Specifically, that is professional fee. Next, insurance. Kapag bumili ka ng insurance, of course, meron kang binabayaran kada buwan. Ang tawag doon ay premium. Specifically, insurance premium. Next, transportation. For example, air transportation, taxi, bus, jeep, etc. Of course, dito, kailangan nyong magbayad ng pamasahe or fare. There's no need to expound this since this is self-explanatory. Next, use of a road or bridge or long-distance phone rate. For example, pupunta kayo sa Tarlac at gusto ninyo na mas maikli yung oras ng biyahe nyo. Of course, ang dadaanan nyo ay Tiplex. And of course, kapag dadaan kayo sa Tiplex, meron kayong babayaran. At yung tawag dun sa babayaran nyo ay toll. Ganon din sa long distance phone rate. Pero ngayon kasi, hindi na uso yung toll sa long distance phone rate. Kasi nga, meron ng advent of new technology. Meron ng messenger, Skype, etc. Next, work of managers. These managers are working for the business or the organization, and in return for that service, makakatanggap sila ng bayad. At ang tawag dun sa bayad nila ay salary. Next, kapag work of hourly workers naman, ang appropriate term ay wages. And last, sales effort. For example, ang product mo ay pabango. Tapos, yung pabango na product mo, pinabenta mo sa akin. Sa'yo yung product, yun nga lang, pinabenta mo sa akin. Dahil ibibenta ko yung pabango, may sales effort on my part. At dahil nag-exert ako ng sales effort, kailangan na may matanggap akong bayad in the form of commission. Let's say na yung commission ko ay 10% of sales. Kung ang naibenta ko ay 100 pesos, kung ang halaga nung naibenta ko ay 100 pesos, babayaran mo ako ng 10 pesos once niremit ko yung collection ko. That is commission. Take note, sa commission, it's either kapag i-remit mo na yung napagbentahan mo, pwedeng kunin mo na agad-agad yung 10% of sales. Pwedeng kunin mo na agad-agad yung commission. Ibawas mo na lang at yung natira, yun yung i-remit mo. Pero pwede rin naman, based on your agreement, na i-remit mo lahat ng collection mo, tapos ibibigay nung may-ari sa'yo yung commission mo. That is commission. Let's now proceed to price versus cost. What is the difference between price and cost? Although a price may go by many names, one name it should not go by is cost. Siyempre, kung ang pinag-uusapan ay price, hindi nawawala na pag-usapan din ang cost. They go together. From the viewpoint of the buyer, this would not be an issue. So para kay buyer, hindi issue yung price at cost. Bakit? Because buyers, particularly consumers, will typically use the terms price and cost synonymously. So para kay buyer, ang price at cost ay iisa. Pareho lang ang price at cost. For example, a woman could tell her friend, the price of this sweater is only 500 pesos. Or pwede niyang sabihin, this sweater costs me only 500 pesos. As you can see, para kay buyer, pareho lang ang price at cost. However, from the viewpoint of the seller, the difference between price and cost is quite important. A price is what a business charges, and a cost is what a business pays. So, para kay seller, hindi pareho yung price at cost. Para kay seller, yung price is what a business charges. Meaning to say, this price pertains to the selling price. Kasi di ba, yung selling price naman, yung china-charge ng seller sa buyer. Yung selling price, yung babayaran ng buyer. Para kay seller, yung cost is what a business pays. In other words, yung cost ay gastos. That is an expenditure. So, sa mga next topics natin, papag-aralan natin yung cost. I-expound natin yung cost. Kasi ang dami-daming klase ng cost. Kailangan nating pag-aralan ng mabuti yung cost because the price usually depends upon the cost. So, kailangan yung intindihin kung ano yung cost para makapag-set tayo ng tamang price ng product. Because as I said, the price usually depends upon the cost.